Hey everybody, how are you today? The purpose of this video is going to be twofold. The first part's going to be a little recipe. One of my new subscribers has asked me to show how to make pizza. So I'm making pizza for dinner, so it's a good opportunity to show you how to do that. It's a very simple recipe, so I'm going to show that right now. First, start off with 1.5 cups of hot water in a bowl. Then add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. I put in a couple teaspoons of the quick rise yeast. Mix that up together. And then you're going to add some flour. Now I don't know how many cups of flour because I do this all by feel. So you add a little bit at a time. And use a fork to stir it in. And you keep adding until you get enough flour in there so that you have a dough that you can knead. And the reason you use hot water is because you want the yeast will grow faster and will make the dough rise faster if it's warm. And as soon as you have enough flour in there so that the dough starts to pull away from the sides of the bowl and you think that you can actually knead it on the countertop without it being too sticky, that's how you know you have enough flour. We're getting close. I'm going to guess 5 cups of flour total, but I've never measured it. There we go. Can't seem to stir it anymore in. I'm going to turn it onto the countertop. A little flour. Flour, there, dough. Just use your fingers, scrape the bowl. And you just keep adding a little bit of flour. And for you, any of you who haven't made bread before, when you're kneading bread, push down, fold it in half, give it a turn, push down, fold it in half, give it a turn, and so on. So you can see how the dough see how it's not sticking to the countertop at all, and it stops sticking to my fingertips. So there's just about enough flour in there. And you just, if it starts to stick, just add a little tiny bit. And you're going to do this until the dough becomes nice and elastic. And I'll show you what elastic means when we get to that point. This is going to be enough dough for 2 small pizzas. You'll start to feel the dough. It starts to change consistency. It starts to feel very smooth. Okay, this feels pretty good. Okay, push down on it and it springs back. That's elastic. You see that? Okay, so just take your bowl, put a little bit more olive oil in the bottom of it, just a little bit. Put your dough in there and just turn it a couple of times to coat it, like so. You're going to cover it with plastic wrap or with a clean dishcloth and put it in a warm place to rise, and you're going to let it do that for about an hour. So put up a little bit of flour on the countertop and then take out the dough that's risen, and you can see it's almost twice the size as it was before, and cut the dough ball in half. Well, in half because I'm making 2 separate pizzas. So you have one very large pizza, you'd leave it together, obviously. Then take your dough and sprinkle a bit of flour on it, and then you're going to roll it out with a rolling pin until you get to the right size. Now you can see I'm listening to an audiobook here. That is why I'm not talking. So I'm doing this narration after the fact. I'm actually listening to the Harper Connolly book 2 here, I think. And then put it on a cookie sheet or a pizza pan, and I grease mine with baking spray before I put the dough down. Then put on some pizza sauce. No, I don't make my own pizza sauce. I don't know how to make my own pizza sauce. Actually, I've never tried. I suppose it can't be that all that difficult, but I've never tried it. And then the toppings. Now this is Mom and Dad pizza on this side here. I put red pepper and mushrooms and then green olives, but only on my part of the pizza because my husband doesn't like green olives, just me. And then Max's pizza, oh, and the cheese. And Max's pizza, he doesn't pretty much like any toppings except for pepperoni and bacon, so I'm going to just put pepperoni in his side. Pepperonis go on top of the cheese because you want the pepperonis to have a chance to cook and to crisp up a little bit. So you're going to bake it in the oven at 400 degrees. About 15 minutes until the crust is brown on the bottom. Can you see that? It's brown on the bottom and the cheese is a little bit brown on the top.